Father Rick here. Listen to the gospel from the 30th Sunday in Ordinary Time. As Jesus was leaving Jericho with his disciples and a sizable crowd, Bartimaeus, a blind man, the son of Timaeus, sat by the roadside begging. On hearing that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out and say, "Jesus, Son of David, have pity on me." And many rebuked him, telling him to be silent, but he kept calling out all the more, "Son of David, have pity on me." Jesus stopped and said, "Call him." So they called the blind man, saying, "Take courage, get up, Jesus is calling you." He threw aside his cloak, sprang up, and he came to Jesus. Jesus said to him in reply, "What do you want me to do for you?" The blind man replied to him, "Master, I want to see." Jesus told him, "Go your way. Your faith has saved you." Immediately he received his sight and followed Jesus on the way. I love that story of Bartimaeus because in a sense it gives us a pretty clear 5-step process of going to Jesus whenever we need healing. 5 simple steps that we can learn from this blind man. Step number 1, cry out to Jesus. Cry out to him when we see him. Let our hearts just reach out to him in prayer, in groaning. Cry out to him. And step number 2 is cry out to him again. You notice Bartimaeus, he's rebuked. The crowd says, "Stop bugging the Lord, just be quiet." And he cries out all the more, all the louder. That's an important second step for us as well, because once we start to reach out to Jesus, there's going to be obstacles. There's going to be people and situations that in a sense say, "Don't pester the Lord, don't bug him, leave him alone." We need to cry out all the more as a second step for our healing. Step number 3 is run to him. Bartimaeus springs up, throws aside his cloak. Once he hears that Jesus is calling him, he runs to Jesus. And that's what we must do too. If we're crying out to Jesus, he's going to call out to us as well. We need to seek him, to go after him, whatever ways we can, through the sacraments, through confession, through adoration, through Eucharist, through reading the Bible, through prayer from the heart. Jesus is going to be calling out to us. We need to run to him. And step number 4 is tell him exactly what we want. Bartimaeus isn't afraid of this. Jesus says, "What do you want me to do for you?" And Bartimaeus says, "I want to see." And what is it that we are seeking? Maybe we want to see as well. Maybe we want our faith to be a little bit more clear. Maybe we want to know Jesus a little more clearly. Or maybe we do require some kind of physical, emotional, spiritual healing. Tell Jesus exactly what we want, because now we notice what follows here is Jesus turns to the man and says, "Go your way, your faith has saved you." And that step comes even before Bartimaeus' physical healing. His faith has saved him, his faith has made him whole. And that will happen to us as well once we have the courage to tell Jesus exactly what we need. And then step 5 is receive what he desires to give. The blind man receives his sight. Maybe we will receive a physical healing, an emotional healing, but certainly our faith will be made more whole and stronger, and that will lead to so many beautiful gifts. Gifts of peace, gifts of patience, gifts of love. Once we go to Jesus and tell him what we need, we receive the gift of a new and restored faith, and that is going to lead to beautiful things in our lives. So it's a 5-step process that we learned from this blind man on the roadside in Jericho. Cry out to Jesus, cry out to him again when things get even tougher, run to him when he calls us, tell him exactly what it is we need, and then receive the gift of a new faith and whatever else the Lord desires to give us. God wants to give us peace, wants to give us healing, wants to fill us with all that is good. This is good news. May the Lord give you peace.